Welcome to Faith, Reason, and Geekdom. I'm your genuflexor, Roger. My brothers and sisters in Christ, join me every other Wednesday as we work out these three perspectives in our everyday lives. That's what I call Christian genuflexing. Get ready to enjoy another episode filled with a lot of nerdy and geeky stuff. Joined by my friend Aaron today. Let's get into this. It's here, 2022, brand new year. How was 2021 for you? Actually, we're going to review this whole episode. I mean, not the entire episode. Thank you guys for joining us in this new year, 2022. Hopefully it's going to be good. On today's show, we're going to do the main topic. The main topic is like the year in review. We're going to give our top 10 favorite movies of 2021. And then we're going to do the top 10 stories or moments of 2021. So retrospect, looking back at the year. It should be fun. But before that, we're going to do two non-spoilers. So don't worry, nobody, because Aaron has not seen No Way Home. Like, he's one of the few. Like, this movie literally broke. It made over $250-something million domestically, opening like one of the top 10 movies of all time when it comes to box office gross. And Aaron managed somehow. You have to try hard. Like, to not see this movie, you had to try hard.
You gotta be picky like me, though. You gotta be picky. You gotta make sure
because this broke records. This broke records.
Yeah, I know.
Everyone saw it. My mom saw it.
Yeah, I know, but let's just be real. Like, a lot of movies can make a lot of money, but it has to be good to me. So, like,
okay,
I'm not discrediting Spider-Man at all or something like that. But I'm just saying, like, all I gotta say is everyone keeps hyping it even more when you don't see it.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna hype it a lot.
It better reach the expectations, or you ruined it for me.
Don't worry, everybody who's worried. If you're one of the few people living under the rock. And no, I don't mean Dwayne Johnson, and I don't mean Dwayne Johnson like you're underneath like his armpit. Dwayne Johnson, you're like underneath his armpit. He's like, hold the rock, what are you doing, you candy ass? I'm not talking about that rock. I'm talking about a rock. Like, if you've been living under a rock, not the rock. So, if you're like Aaron, don't worry. This is going to be a non-spoiler review. Spider-Man No Way Home, and also too. Because I'm going to shove this in. I'm going to spoon feed this for you guys. I know nobody saw this movie, American Underdog. So I'm going to give a brief. I wrote up a review, and I'm just going to pretty much read my review. It's a short review, but again, it's no spoilers in here.
Hopefully I'm going to try seeing Spider-Man this coming weekend, but there's no telling. But, I mean, I'm definitely going to see it and eventually see it. So.
Me too. It was great holidays, great, Christmas and New Year's. I just learned a few things over the holidays, and one of them was never do a dance-off challenge with the like insanely fit 21-year-old. Never do that. Also, never do drunken Marian apologetics. Don't do those two things. That's what I learned.
What was the first one?
Over these past holidays. That's it. I'm just going to leave it there because I said I wasn't going to talk about it. So the first movie, again, this is a non-spoiler, so don't worry. You don't have to get nothing ruined and stuff like that. So this one's called American Underdog. Again, the star is Zachary Levi of Shazam fame. This isn't your daddy's faith-based movie. Stop me if you heard this one. Faith-based movie releases, bombs, too preachy, more cheese than an Arby's cheddar melt. American Underdog, the Kurt Warner story, thankfully avoids the unfortunate trap that many faith movies fall into. Faith is there, of course, but it's subtle. It's not preachy by any means. And that you didn't even realize it was in the beginning. Acting is excellent, and the emotion is plentiful. Bring 2 boxes of tissues. Don't forget to bring one for your wife as well. Of course, this movie is not perfect, like any movie. I would have wanted a little bit more football sequences inside the film, more Dennis Quaid. You can never go wrong with Dennis Quaid. And Kurt Warner's time in the NFL. The fact that the movie is an hour and 52 minutes, it actually flies by. The scenes that I suggested could easily fit by making some small cuts. But that being said, it would kind of be a little bit too difficult to cut some scenes. The movie was overall good. The story has a little bit of Jobian if that's, I don't know if that's a word, Old Testament blueprint with emotional stakes throughout the story. Zachary Levi shows he's more than a cape with his charming acting performance as a man who seeks approval and happiness in honor, fame, and to prove himself to others. But as Thomas Aquinas says, take a drink right there, take a shot. It is impossible for happiness to consist in honor, for honor is given to a man on account of some excellence in him, and consequently the sign of excellence that is in the person honored. Outside people's approval doesn't make us ultimately happy, neither will being famous. See, you have to find that within. I must say that the chemistry between Levi and Anna Paquin, she plays Brenda Warner, his wife, is one of the year's best on-screen relationships, and with a comic relief also coming from the other well-played characters. This is really a good movie experience in the theaters this year. Go see the movie and support faith-based movies that don't beat you with a baseball bat to your incredibly fragile human skull. Now that was a non-spoiler review of American Underdogs. So hopefully what do you think about that? Did that wet your whistle to see it or no? Did I just like make it suck? That's the one about, Kurt Warner is, right? The football player. He won in 1999. He won, and then he went. Was it 2001? That's when Tom Brady, the Patriots, won their first Super Bowl, and they beat them. They called them the greatest show on turf. I was a big fan of Kurt Warner and Marshall Faulk, the Rams, St. Louis Rams. So that's who the movie's about. Does this interest you? Would you want to see this?
If it's good, yeah, sure.
Did it sound good? I wrote this review.
I'll be honest. The only people that knows this and knows all about it is people that are real fans of football. I'm not a football fan, so. But I mean, I watched all types of football movies, so it doesn't mean that they won't be good or something like that. But I mean, I do know the backstory of this cat or whatever. So I mean, like, yeah, he was one of the greats, and the way he got to where he's at. To where he is was amazing.
This is a movie review that I actually typed up. I wrote it up. I typed it, so maybe I'll post it up, like a little link of the if you want to read the review or anything like that. I didn't write a review for this one because it was just too much. Like I was like, man, how am I gonna I need like 2, 3, 4 pages to like talk about Spider-Man No Way Home. And plus, this is a non-spoiler review. So I'm just going to kind of talk about what I liked about the movie. Again, don't worry. This is a non-spoiler. Nothing's going to get ruined. I'm not going to, say anything, parts that come out. So again, most of you guys have seen this 2021's Spider-Man No Way Home. And man, see, when we first heard that Marvel was going to reboot the Spider-Man franchise, thankfully we were saved. Uncle Ben death scene. DC, you guys should take notes. Take notes on this. Instead, we had Tom Holland playing Spider-Man in high school. So this is incredible and better. To me, I think it's better because it was hard to see Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire like in the other Spider-Mans. Like remember in Tobey Maguire, he was playing a high school student in part 1. And then in Amazing Spider-Man 2012, you had Andrew Garfield playing a high school student. Like I just couldn't believe it. I was like, are you kidding me? These guys are several years past the drinking age and they're trying to play high school students. But Tom Holland, he has like an excellent look. If we could all be so lucky as him, he had found the fountain of youth. He looks exactly, and he's over his 20s. He's 20 something. I believe he's like 24, 25 or something like that. So, but he fits as a high school student. So going into this movie, I was very excited.
I mean, I think everyone that's heard AR-15, they should know how I did feel about or felt about Tom Holland. I'm just more excited to seeing the other guys come back. But I mean, I'm not saying that it's not going to be a good movie just with without being with Tom Holland in it. He's growing on me. I hate to say, but he is growing on me, and I haven't even seen the movie.
Yeah,
so
I love.
What does that tell you?
I love the movie. Like it's directed by John Watts. He's coming back, so directing this is the trilogies. He's directing this, and he coming in. He did an excellent job directing, and the movie pretty much starts off right after Far From Home. That's where it picks up. Again, Tom Holland. You have Marissa Tomei playing Aunt May, and then of course Benedict Cumberbatch, as I call him, Doctor Strange. He's an excellent. And Zendaya as MJ, and you go Ned. You got all these characters in here, and the movie just like moves, like it picks up right after that. And I will say this: anything that I say, it's not a spoiler because it's in the trailers. Okay, so if I say something like, "Oh, no," it's in the trailers. So if it's not in the trailers, I'm not going to talk about the big surprises and the cameos. I'm not going to talk about any. If it's in the trailer, I'm going to talk about it. But obviously, we see the Green Lantern. I mean, the Green Lantern. Even was sorry, I got Green Lantern. We got the Green Goblin. Oh yeah, Hal Jordan. William Dafoe is Hal Jordan. Okay, that's a weird Hal Jordan. That's like a weird. Yeah, that's a whole different movie. You got Norman Osborn. You have the Green Goblin. You see him in the trailer, and then you hear the laugh, William Dafoe's laugh. I'll say this: one of the biggest mistakes of the Spider-Man franchise, other than Tobey Maguire being doing emo dances, other than that, and Topher Grace shitty Venom, one of the biggest regrets in history is putting a mask on William Dafoe's face. Like, how do you... That is a crime. That's one of the regrets that will go up there. This man, again, a lot of people like fan casting him as the Joker. He would have made an excellent Joker. And the Green Goblin is like one of the best villains. He is incredible. The Green Goblin is so menacing.
Okay, look, I mean, he's not wearing a mask anymore?
Well, yeah, it comes off and stuff like that. Like it's not like
okay. But is his face like turning into a goblin, or is that what they're trying to do?
No. It's nothing like that. It's nothing like that. But his performance is great. And again, I'm not going to talk about it. The movie is actually very emotional too. Like
I bet, yeah.
It picks up, and then you got Doctor Strange going in there, Benedict Cumberbatch. There you go. See, like I said his name so wrong so many times that when I actually tried to say it, I said that. I was really trying to say his real name.
I thought you were saying it because you don't like him.
No.
I thought you were saying it like that.
No, Benedict Cumberbatch. See, it's so hard for me to. I got so used to.
It on purpose.
No, Cumberbatch. Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch.
I hate his beliefs and everything.
No, he's good. And of course, you've seen in the trailer, he helps Spider-Man because he wants he wants people to forget about it, and then all this stuff ensues. But man, the cameos that pop up, it's so incredible. Like I was literally waiting for Macho Man, for them to CGI Macho Man and revive his Bonesaw character from Spider-Man 1. Remember when he's a wrestler? He's like, Bonesaw is ready. Yeah. He's like, I got you for 3 minutes. 3 minutes of playtime. And I was actually waiting for like Nickelback to like step in and start singing their hero song.
They say that.
I was waiting for that. I was like, okay, when's Nickelback coming out? So many great surprises in this movie.
I did hear, I'm not the type of person that like spoilers exactly, but I mean, I do read a little bit of articles, right after the movie or whatever. And plus, I already knew who was featured in there too, or something like that, because Brazilian trailer already fucked my, mind up already with that, like a long time ago. But anyways, I was reading an article about William Dafoe, that he was actually scaring people behind the scenes and stuff like that. Just the way he was performing, I guess, as a goblin.
Yeah.
Could you believe that or whatever?
Yeah. He's very menacing in there. And again, I loved how the dynamic between Doctor Strange and Spider-Man, Peter Parker, they trying to work together to help him. And of course, you see in the trailer, things mess up and things go awry. And so that's when Dr. Otto Octavius, played by Alfred Molina, excellent introduction scene. It was a good little action sequence. Really liked it. Showed his power, and Molina did great. Alfred Molina, man, he picked up right where he left off. He didn't miss a beat at all, not one beat. And then the story starts opening up, and you're like, "Oh my goodness, what is this going on? What is this?" And of course, you see in the trailer Jamie Foxx. So Jamie Foxx, he's okay, not like a big role, but I loved all the characters development they had. And then there's this, again, this is not spoilers, so I'm going to say, but there's this conundrum. If you will, if I could say that word, the conundrum happens, and so there's a decision this is one problem I have with the movie. I loved it, but non-spoiler stuff. This thing was like Doctor Strange was like, we have to do this or else this is going to happen, and Peter Parker's like, nah, it's all right, it's okay. I was like, what? Like, how are you gonna like multiverse stuff? Like, how are you gonna like nonchalantly, but Spider-Man's like, nah, I don't care what you say. Whatever. I'm going to go do this thing over here. You know, like, I'm not going to listen to the older, wiser Doctor Strange. So that I was like, I know Spider-Man's a kid. I know he's a high school. You know, it shows him and his friends trying to get into college.
Well,
and all that.
I'm sure they did that just because there's going to be like a trilogy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but still, it was like they should have. The writers could have found a better way instead of just like, oh, who cares? And Spider-Man's like, oh, you know, I'm gonna do it anyway. And then the whole, you know, everything starts going wild and everything. And amazing fight sequences happen. Again, the Goblin, to me, he like stole the show. He was a great villain. I mean, other people too in there stole the show. But as far as like the villains and stuff, and again, in the trailer you see Sandman, so he's in there obviously. In the trailer you see Jamie Foxx, and there was this one line where I thought it was pretty funny because Sandman's talking to Max, what's his name, Electro, and he's like, "Oh, what happened to you?" And he's like, "Oh, I fell into a vat of sand." And Jamie Foxx is like, "Oh, yeah, I fell into a vat of eels." And then Jamie Foxx is like, "You got to be careful where you fall." It's like, I thought that was pretty funny. It's true. Like, okay, let me tell you this, Aaron. Like, why do you think that is that you have villains falling into things? Like, you have the Joker. What does he do?
Mm-hmm.
What does he do? He falls into a vat of acid. You have Electro. What does he do? He falls into a vat of eels. Sandman. What does he do? He falls into a vat of sand. Like, what happened? Like, why do the villains have to be falling into, like, why can't a villain just be like, hey, you know, I'm going to wake up one day and it's like, hey, you know what? I'm just going to be evil. I'm going to like kill half the population or whatever, you know, make children starve to death or whatever, you know, do all that stuff. Like, why do they have to fall into things? Like, and does it depend on like what they fall into? Like, what if it's like a
chocolate pudding or something like
that. Like, what if they
chocolate pudding there?
What is it, like a chocolate, like Willy Wonka's chocolate factory?
It's like, oh yeah.
Like Augustus Gloop or whatever.
Okay.
Or what's her name? The girl that falls into the thing though. Oh, Veruca Salt. Remember there was a band called Veruca Salt? Remember that band? Yeah, there was a rock band called Veruca Salt. Remember Veruca Salt? She like falls down. Where does she go? Is she going to turn into a villain? Like, is she right? And then she gets her revenge on Willy Wonka and Charlie Bucket. Like, what happened to her? I want to see her or her story that came out that, like, what do you have to fall into? Like, do you have to fall into like a pile of raked leaves? Like in the yard, like what if you just fall into somewhere, like you fall down into somewhere soft, just a big old thing of raked leaves, and then what is your superpower? You just have leaves everywhere you walk. It's just leaves blowing everywhere. And like your neighbor, you have like one of those like really scrupulous neighbors that gets really pissed off if you mess up his yard because he's like cares about it. So maybe that's your superpower. Your superpower is you agitate people who love their yards. I don't know, but yeah. So I thought that was pretty funny. But man, the end of the story, it closes it out good. Again, there's a lot of emotion. That's all I could say. Is there's emotion punches you right in the face a few times, and you're like, oh. But then you also get the feels. You get the nostalgia, obviously. You get the emotion. You get action sequences, and you get menacing. Again, I thought the Green Goblin was like very menacing. When he was on screen, I was like worried. I was like, oh man. I was like, he's like, I was worried for the hero. So that shows the character of the Green Goblin to me was very, very like there was stakes there. Like I believed like he could just kill anybody and everybody, and nobody was safe when Green Goblin was around. So I thought he did a very good job. Very good job. And then of course Tom Holland's perfect. He does a great job. You know, the suits are pretty cool. There's a few different. I mean, there's several suits. There's more than one. It's not just stuff, but there's more than one suits. There was one that I liked that I can't really say much about it, but there was one that I was like, just started like a big old smile. And I know you would have loved it. You would have loved the ending that happens. I thought it ties up the trilogy well. It ties it up in a nice bow. So the trilogy is like tied up well, and I think because from what you've told me about what you don't like about Spider-Man, this iteration, you're gonna love the way it ties up. That's all I'm gonna say. You will love it. So again, you got to go see this. This movie, honestly, I give this movie I would have to say like an 8.5, maybe even a 9, but I'm gonna stick with an 8.5. It was really
Really?
good. Yeah. No, again, is that high or low to you?
I thought it would be higher, just the way making everybody sound.
Okay,
I
look.
mean,
Now, I've learned my lesson. Let's not talk about Wonder Woman 84. Okay, so I've learned my lesson from doing movies, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm giving 9s and 10s too much. Like that's too much. You're talking about like a Goodfellas, The Departed 10s. You're talking about the what's his name? The Shankshaw Redemption. You're talking about The Godfather. Those are 10s. Like 10s, it's going to be really hard for me to give away 10s. 9s, I mean, that's just one level. So to me, Spider-Man No Way Home is an 8.5. I loved it, but it's more fanfare, which is not a bad thing. They used it well. Like I was actually surprised. I was pleasantly surprised because I thought like, oh, they're just gonna use this. Like, oh, look at these shiny toys over here, and look at this shiny toy over here, and look at this, and it's just fan service. But it really they actually used it pretty well. I mean, there was one that wasn't, but I didn't care. But overall, they did a good job of not just like oversaturating, like, oh, look at this and look at that. Like they did a good job of incorporating as many stuff as they could into the movie. And now that stuff is worth like a 9. That makes me want to give it a 9 alone. But just from the pure movie, the story, it's very good. 8.5. And again, I was going to give it a 9 at first, but I was like, you know what? Let me just let me. I think 8.5. I'll live with that because this movies are very good. I really loved it. So we'll talk about this a little bit more later. So hopefully you can see it. So again, that's a non-spoiler, just a little review, mini review on Spider-Man No Way Home. You guys should check it out. Anything you wanted to add about seeing the movie or wanting to?
no, I'm just gonna want to see it. I'm gonna see it. Yeah, I mean, I would say some spoilers too. I haven't even seen the movie, but I mean, I'm aware of
we don't. Yeah,
who's in it or whatever. But
for the people for the few who have not seen it, but I'm pretty much
they're out there.
We're going to talk about why there's not in a little bit later. If you could give us a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, Audible, iHeartRadio, wherever you listen to podcasts, subscribe. Please share around with your friends. Tell people about us. Get them to listen to the show. Send them a couple of episodes. Okay, so let's get into our main topic. And this is going to be a big main topic. The main topic is a look back at 2021. We're going to give our top 10 movies of the year. Also, our top 10 stories and moments of the year. Now, Aaron, now, in all fairness, Aaron, you said that this was a busy year for you, so you didn't actually get to see over 10 movies, right?
Well, I didn't really go to the theaters.
Okay.
This year, like at all. I mean, I do have HBO Max or something like that.
Yeah, I was going to say that there's like 30 movies on there. So
so there's a time. I mean, but there's certain movies. There's only movies that I wanted to see, and the only reason why I had HBO Max was just because of Justice League.
Sure.
That was just
Sure. Okay.
I mean, So.
All right, no problem. This is what we're going to do. Is since Meano Aaron, the meanie face Aaron, didn't do his top 10. Don't worry, Daddy's here to save the day. Don't worry, baby birds. Mama's going to feed you.
That's gross.
So I came up with my top 10 movies of the years. These are just my preference. Again, there was a lot of movies I didn't see, so I'm going to give you my top 10, and then Aaron, we're going to talk about them. And then also at the end, if you wanna tell us the movies that you want to look forward to seeing or whatever. So we'll get into the top 10, and me and you will both talk about it. But before I do, I want to say this. I'm going to say this a few more times throughout our list because I'm disappointed in myself. One of my favorite anticipated movies for this year 2021 was Dune. And I think that might have been my number one most anticipated movie last year when we did the show. I think it was. It was in my top 10 for sure. I think it might have been number one. I didn't see it because I had to see it in IMAX. So I did not see it on HBO, and I missed the boat on it. So I didn't get to see Dune, and then it already went off HBO Max.
So you haven't seen Dune?
No, I haven't seen Dune. So I'm disappointed in myself that I guarantee you Dune would have been in my top 10 for sure. So I just want to say that right off the back. That was literally my most anticipated movie, and I didn't see it. So I'm disappointed. because I wanted to see an IMAX, and I missed the boat, and then HBO took it off. So then right when I was going to watch it, they took it off, and I was like, oh, man, whatever. So, again, Dune would have been in. It's a ghost.
It'll go back on there, though.
It's going to go in. But so this is my top 10 of 2021. Okay, so I'll go one at a time. So number 10, Aaron, I know you're going to like this one. You're going to like this one a lot. At number 10 of my 10 favorite movies of 2021, Candyman. Say his name.
Cabbage.
Say his name. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, okay, we're at AR-15 Nation. We're inclusive. We're diverse. So here, we're not going to refer to Candyman. We're going to refer to Candy Them. So you say. So
I was going to say something else.
So I want you to go in the mirror, and if you say Candy Them 3 times, a non-binary, gender-fluid pansexual will appear in the back, like with like a hook on his hand, or their hand, or them hand, or whatever you say.
I hope you're joking. We're not doing this garbage.
Yeah. So Candy Them. So that movie is one. I'm going to tell you why, and then you can comment on it real quick. Again, I didn't go to the movies a lot, so this is one that me and you actually saw in the movies together, because we did a review on Candyman, and actually, I didn't hate. I actually enjoyed it. Like, I don't know.
I have my money back.
I actually liked it. I thought, again, this is like a Jordan Peele production, and I really like Jordan Peele. So I can see the Jordan Peele isms throughout the movie, and I thought what they did was pretty cool. It wasn't perfect. It was not. This isn't a 9. This isn't a 10. There's nothing like that. But it warranted to be placed in my top 10. So, and again, I want to say too, I didn't see a lot of movies this year too. So that's why it's a thin list. So there. So what do you think about that, Aaron?
Number 10.
Yeah, Candyman.
What, anticipated or?
No. I'm just saying that's my number 10. I'm saying, what do you think about that? You saw it with me. So what are your thoughts on it, the movie?
I don't think it should have been even in the list.
Yeah. All right.
That's how.
So let's go to my number 9. Or you wanted to say something?
Well, I was just going to say, if people haven't seen it, I mean, it doesn't compare to the first one. I mean,
yeah, for sure. But I like what they did. I like how they tied it in. And then I like the shadow puppet thing. I thought that was really... there was some good shots in there. The acting was good. I like some of the shots, and I liked what they did with the original. So that's why I liked it. Again, I didn't love it, but I liked it. Okay, so number 9. Number 9 on the list is going to be a little movie. I don't know if you've seen this one. Tell Aaron, because I know you said you saw some of the movies that I had, but you didn't see all of them. So at my number 9 is going to be King Richard. This is the Will Smith movie about Venus and Serena Williams. It was on HBO Max.
I know what you're talking about, but didn't that? I mean, not saying it was a bad movie, but didn't it bomb? Like,
well, it didn't. Yeah, it didn't make a lot of money for sure. It did not make a lot of money, but man, was this to me? This is like one of, if not the best Will Smith performance. I think he might deserve maybe an Oscar nomination for his portrayal. I thought he did really good. It's one of his best performances for sure of his entire career. And it was a good movie. That's a shame.
That's a shame. Because I really feel like the whole COVID thing has messed up like people's chances of going to the movies or seeing a certain actor perform or stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I mean, I don't remember at all. Hearing about that movie, you know what I mean? Like, or the advertisement wasn't in there as much as you would see, like, superhero movies or whatever. But I mean, I'm not going to doubt that was not going to be a good movie. I mean, I enjoy Will Smith most of the time just watching his movies.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Will Smith. John Bernthal too. John Bernthal, he of Punisher fame and The Walking Dead fame, many movies. He does an excellent performance. He has a funny character that he plays one of the tennis coaches. And actually, you learn a lot. I didn't know a lot about Venus and Serena Williams. I didn't know a lot. So the movie, it does a very good job of giving you information and it's showing lightheartedness and drama and the story. So I thought it was really good. So King Richard is my number 9. Okay, So at number 8, Nobody. I don't know if you saw that movie. That's the one with Better Call Saul, the lead actor in Better Call Saul. He comes out in there.
A
This is
movie I
a
wanted to see, but I didn't get
yeah.
to. Yeah.
This is a John Wick ripoff. Some people say. Matter of fact, one of the person that's involved in John Wick, he's actually he was involved. Yeah, it's the same guy.
Yeah,
he's involved with Nobody. So one of the directors. So yeah, it's very John Wick ish. All I have to say is, man, the bus fight scene, the bus fight that happens.
Is that one of the best ones?
Man, that's like probably one of my favorite parts of the movies is that fight scene inside the bus. He just whooping. I mean, he's like kicking. Oh my goodness, it's good. It's a really good scene. Also, what's his name? Christopher Lloyd's in there. Not Christopher Lloyd. What's it? Yeah, from Back to the Future. Is that his name?
Yeah,
Christopher Lloyd. He's in there. RZA from Wu-Tang. He's in there. It's just a really good movie. It's an action movie. Yeah, I mean, John Wick. I mean, I don't know how else to say that. It's pretty much like John Wick, but it does it in a way that doesn't make it seem like, oh, this is just like a rip-off and, oh, this is just, this is the poor man's John Wick. No, it's actually, the movie does a really good job of not being that, even though it's from the same creators. It actually could be in the same world. They're not connected. They don't say nothing about being connected, but if they ever were, like, I can definitely see these two. So Nobody, really good fight sequences, good action movie. If you're looking for like a good action,
the guy dropped a lot of weight too, just to do all that stuff.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, you wouldn't think of like, oh, this guy's gonna be like a John Wick guy, like a beating up people, like a Liam Neeson take. No, I think he does an excellent job, and this is a really good action movie. At number 7 on my list, The Tomorrow War, starring Chris Pratt. This came out. This was a Amazon Prime release. I thought the aliens looked awesome. Like the way they look like ugly, fierce, scary, tough, like everything you want in aliens. I thought the design was excellent. When you see the actual alien that's in there, you're like, oh shoot, like it's pretty cool. And I like the time travel element. Also, this movie kind of reminds me of like a culmination, like a huge, like a stew of all the alien movies you've seen. Like there's a little bit of Alien in there. There's a little bit of John Carpenter's The Thing in there. There's a little bit of what's that movie with Tom Cruise?
Are you talking about like the vibe, or you mean like the alien?
The whole vibe. No, the whole vibe of the movie. Even what's the one with Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt? Edge of Tomorrow. Like this movie is like you take Edge of Tomorrow, Alien, Prometheus, John Carpenter's The Thing, and you just like this is. I really liked it. You should check it out. It's on Amazon Prime. I don't know if you guys have Amazon Prime, you guys can watch it for free. But The Tomorrow War, I thought Chris Pratt. I love watching Chris Pratt do his thing. I like the action sequences, the soldiers shooting and killing aliens. Really good. My number 6 is Free Guy. Ryan Reynolds. The movie, I was like, oh, this is going to be, whatever. It's like a throwaway movie, a Matrix-y video game movies. The track record of video game movies is not good. Not good at all. So I was like, this movie's going to suck. And I saw the trailers. I was like, you know what? The trailers are actually, they're not bad. So I was like, I'm interested. But again, I was still hesitant because the track record think about all the shitty comic book movies. The track record is not good. The track record is the same as like a drug addict working at McDonald's serving you food. Like I don't trust it. Like I was like, I don't trust you making my double cheeseburger with mac sauce. I just don't. Like I'd rather go somewhere else. So I was like, you know what? I'm not going to trust it. I was like,
that's half of the people that do this.
Okay, okay. Well, meth head, I'm a meth addict working. Actually, no, that's probably half of it. But so I was like, I don't trust it. I was like, I don't know. But I walked into the movie. I kept an open mind, and I was actually pleasantly surprised of Free Guy. Number 6 is Free Guys because Ryan Reynolds, excellent job. The cast of characters they have in there. Taika Waititi comes out in there. Really good, really good. You should check out that movie, Free Guy. Really good. So that was my number 6. Okay, so now we're getting to the top 5. So my top 5, at number 5, is The Eternals. the Marvel Cinematic Universe, the Eternals, starring Salma Hayek. You have what's Jon Snow's in there, and you have like a bunch of different characters. Angelina Jolie, I thought she did a solid job. You know, there's a lot of characters. Like this movie, to me, like not everyone's gonna like it. Like Aaron, I don't know if you're gonna like it. Like people were mixed. Like some people didn't like it.
So you actually saw it?
Yeah, I saw it in theaters in the Eternals, and I liked it a lot. Like I liked it a lot.
Why do you think I like it? Because I mean, a lot of people were saying
it's very
some
different.
People may not like it, but I mean,
yeah,
it's very different. But
it's very different. It's someone described it as the Prometheus of the MCU. There's a lot of big ideas in here. Like the concept and the ideas in the movie are like, it makes you think about stuff. And like after the movie, you're just like thinking about, like it makes you look at the MCU different. Like it completely kind of changes your lens on all the movies that have came out before, you know? I thought the Celestials were like awe-inspiring. I thought a lot of the shots, the landscapes was good. Richard Madsen did a good job. He plays one of the lead roles. I guess some people will say the knockoff Superman. Some people would call him that, or the poor man Superman. I thought he did a good job.
Well, it was definitely inspired from Superman.
Yeah. Oh no. Yeah. Definitely. I think even Chloe Zhao.
Well, no, the creator.
She said that Man of Steel inspired her. To me, is the greatest DC EU movie. The greatest DC EU movie is Man of Steel, in my opinion. But yeah, the Eternals. Chloe Zhao. She was the previously director. She won the Academy Award for Director of the Year. So she did a really good job of directing this movie. It's not going to be for everybody. It's not. Kurt Harrington's in there too. I think he does excellent. I'm excited to see him in the new movies that he's coming out in. He plays Black Knight. So I'm excited to see it. So Eternals, and I think it's coming out like soon. I think next week on Disney Plus. So Eternals, my number 5. Number 4. My number 4 is going to be The Suicide Squad. What can you tell us about this, Aaron? I know we saw it together.
Well, it was definitely. I mean, it was better than the first one, but I mean, I still number 5 was pretty high, man, compared to all the other movies you said.
No, number 4. The Suicide Squad's number 4. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the Suicide Squad. I mean, with James Gunn, his directing style, like his humor and the gore and the violence, that again might not be for everybody. You know, movies like Slither or Super or all the other movies that he's done, you can tell he's behind the camera. You can tell he's in the director's chair. I think he does an excellent job. Peacemaker, King Shark were like surprises. Even Ratcatcher was pretty good. I didn't think that would make you care about Ratcatcher.
I guess that was the thing that that I liked about it, because of it was kind of more of like the characters we didn't know exactly about, and the way they shined and everything like that. Like I thought it was pretty good. And even though Sylvester Stallone was playing King Shark, barely said it, a few words, but he was like one of the popular characters on there still. Yeah. So.
All right.
And then I was a Ratcatcher fan too, and then I became a Polka Dot fan too. So. Yeah,
the Polka Dot Man. Yeah, I thought he did really good too. All right, so let's go to my number 3. My number 3 is A Quiet Place 2. Quiet Place 2. The first one was very, very, very good. Very good. Enjoyed it. Quiet Place 2, I was like, what are they going to do? Like, do they need a sequel? And I was like, oh, yeah. Like, this one.
How did you see it? Did you see it in theaters?
No, this one I didn't see in theaters. This one I saw it at home. Yeah.
What? What is it on now?
Right now it is on... I don't think it's on anything. Like, I think you can just rent it. Like, I don't think it's on Netflix. Yeah, I don't think it's on Netflix or anything like that. But it is. It is like you can rent it. Just on Amazon Prime or whatever. But you have to rent it. I don't think it's gonna come on any free things anytime soon. But A Quiet Place 2, the story was really good. Man, I enjoyed it a lot. What? Did you like the first one?
Yes, I like the first one. I thought it was very good. Yes, and I didn't. I remember exactly um, when the second one was coming out. The second one was coming out the weekend before all the pandemic happening. I remember it fully because that's when I went. I went, and that's when I planned on seeing it. And then the shit happens, and then you find out that movie theaters are closed and stuff. So I'm still one of the people that still haven't seen it, but I mean, I'm sure it was good because the first one was great. I like their Emily Blunt and damn it, I keep forgetting the guy's name, even though I love The Office. Uh, her real husband. You could see their real chemistry.
John Krasinski.
Yeah, John Krasinski. Yeah, you can see their chemistry. You can tell it's fucking real as hell because I mean, they're actually married. Did you know that they're actually married?
Yeah. No, they're married in real life. That's good.
Yeah. So I mean, I thought it was good.
Okay,
And
all right.
I believe you get some flashbacks, right, on the second one?
Yeah, he makes some appearances and stuff. So excellent movie. I really liked it.
Yeah.
Good sci-fi movie.
And that's
Okay.
what, number 3?
That's number 3. Yeah, number 3.
Oh wow.
Okay, so my number 2 is going to be Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Shang-Chi,
whatever. Yeah, it is. Yeah, I think it is Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This is actually on Disney Plus right now. So if you have Disney Plus, you can watch it. It's been on there for like a month or so. Man, this is fun. I saw this in the movie theaters. This again, another. I don't know what it is about buses in 2021. Buses making a big thing. It's their breakout year. The bus fight sequence, the fight that happens in the bus in Shang-Chi, man, that gives nobody a run for his money. Like, I think this one was better than the nobody fight sequence, and that was hard to top. Like, that one was hard to top, and I think Shang-Chi did it. The fighting in the movie was incredible. I like that whole kind of like that Chinese cinema kind of. I forgot what they're calling by Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon sequences and the choreography. The choreography in the movie, it was almost like a dance fight. I loved when they did that. It was excellent. I love the mythology. All the story behind it, like the ancient Chinese garden, deep in the woods, and has this mystical power and the 10 rings, and the whole story behind it was excellent. Simu Liu, the character, I think he comes on in Kim's Convenience, excellent. I'm glad. Aquafina was also a good comic relief. Love the movie. That's my number 2. You guys should check it out. It's a really good movie. Okay, so now my number 1 movie of 2021, Spider-Man No Way Home. Spider-Man No Way Home. And again, this was kind of tough. This is kind of hard.
Can I ask why no Justice League like at all in that top 10?
Okay, this is why. I had Justice League in there, but then since I had to actually cut some movies because I had about, I think I had like 12, 13 movies.
So you think
movies
nobody was better than Justice League?
No.
That's what I'm saying. Or Candyman. Like.
No. This is what, hold on. So I had about 12 or 13 movies to make the cut, right? I wrote about 12, 13, and I had to make a top 10 cut. In doing the cut, I was like, you know what? I want this movie in here. But I was like, you know what? But then I decided Justice League, it came, the Snyder cut came out in 2021. But it's a director's cut.
No, it's not. It's a completely different movie.
So to me, yes and no. Like, yes and no. But on a technicality, Justice League wasn't in my top 10 because of, I'm going to say, brand new movies that were actually released in 2021. Justice League, that's a director's cut. I mean, it's a thin line. Like, if you had it in your list, I'm not going to complain. Like, I wouldn't argue with you if you put it in your list. But for me, I was like, you know what? Just to make it all fresh movies, I'm going to purposely exclude Justice League, the Snyder Cut. Otherwise, it would have been in my top 5 for sure.
And then, like, not only that, but
for sure.
Not even Mortal Kombat, because I mean, that even
I really liked it. I liked it.
No, but
horrible
I mean,
movie. I liked it.
It raised a lot of money, like more than King Kong. I want to say.
Yeah, it was its number one. It was the number one streaming
anticipated,
or
whatever you want to say.
It was number one on the numbers. But that's
why I'm saying,
that's why I left it off on the technicality, just because I was like, well, it's a director's cut, so I mean, I get the other argument too. So those are my excuse me, one more time, just running back real quick. At number 10 is Candyman. Number 9, King Richard. Number 8, Nobody. Number 7, The Tomorrow War. Number 6, is Free Guy. Number 5 was Eternals. Number 4, The Suicide Squad. Number 3, A Quiet Place. Number 2, Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. And at number 1, Spider-Man No Way Home.
Very tiny list, just because of what I was hearing a lot of stuff about it. It's with Jake Gyllenhaal on Netflix, and it's The Guilty. I hear that was good. Yeah. There's a horror movie. It's on Rotten Tomatoes, it's like 60%, and I believe the audience is 57%. But it's called Antlers. That was
I heard of that. Yeah,
I wanted to see it just because of the trailer. I was interested in that and whatever. And then nobody just talked about this Red Notice. I mean, that was the number one.
I saw that
Netflix
movie
in general.
I saw that.
And what did you think?
It's not on my top 10, but the beginning was, I was like, man, this movie's not bad. And then at the end, I was like, it teeters off. It falls off. Like, man, the end's so hard. It's so hard to close.
So it wasn't no action pack or something? I mean, just because I picture,
it was enjoyable.
Gal Gadot, The Rock, and then Ryan Reynolds or something.
It was enjoyable. It was enjoyable, but the beginning was really good.
What would you rate it? 1 through 10. What would you rate it?
It's not on my top 10.
No, I mean, 1 through 10. What would you rate it?
Like a rating?
Yeah.
I would probably like a 6.5 or something like that.
Okay. All right. I'm just Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 36 and audience 37. So yeah, I guess believe that.
No, I mean, there's some funny parts. There's some good parts.
That's disappointing.
But that's it. It's a movie of just good parts. The whole story and the whole nah. But again,
that's like a dream, right? That's like all of those like
I know.
like love. I like love.
Disappointing.
And idolize. Yeah. That's just very. I want to cry right now. But anyways, and then Free Guy. I want to see that too as well.
All right. Yeah, so those are the movies. You guys want to check it out, 2021. So let's get into the second half of it, or the end of it, I guess. Top 10 stories or moments of the year. Now, these aren't like our personal, well, this is my favorite story of the year. Nothing like that. So it's nothing like that at all. These are just like the top stories that kind of made an imprint or shaped, I guess you would say, 2021. So let's get into these. I just want to know what you think about these stories of 20. And again, these are the things that we think kind of defined it for better or for worse. For better or for worse. So at number 10, Gabby Petito, where she went missing. There was a huge manhunt to try to find her. They found her body. And then, of course, the boyfriend, Brian Landry, they also found his body. And so all that whole thing surrounding us. So what was it about the story that captured the nation for like a month straight? That's all you heard, right?
I think it was because, I really don't know. I really don't know why she was a lot popular. I mean, I think the fact, because wasn't she very connected with social media? Like very. Did she have like a lot of followers or something?
More than us, but not like crazy.
Well, she was basically being followed with a lot of people that were actually trying to even investigate and help her disappearance and stuff like that. And people already had like theories that it was her boyfriend or something like that. I mean, what kind of random allegations are that? I just think it was. I technically don't exactly know why she specifically was being her story was being chased down a lot. Even though it was pretty sad and messed up, especially knowing that it was a boyfriend the whole time, and then he ended up dying too or something, and wasn't he connected with other murder cases too or something like that?
No,
I believe.
No. There was suspicions that he was involved.
So they weren't tied in? I thought they were tied in.
No, there was suspicions and stuff like that. But this captured America, so I thought that would be like number 10 of the
stories. What about you, though? But why do you think why do you think this story was...
Well, I just think because the attention of... They're doing like those videos, it's very popular now, doing those YouTube videos or, what do you call it, like documenting your journey, and they're kind of trying to live like the van lifestyle and all this stuff. And I think it just caught on, and then a lot of the internet sleuths, like it was something to sink their teeth into. So that's pretty much the internet sleuths gave it power, and that's what I think happened. So to me, that's the number 10 story of 2021. I mean, this one's purely me. Like, this is all Johnny the Walrus hitting number 1 on Amazon's LGBTQ list. That's the number 9 top story. Again, people are like, some people don't even know. They're like, what the hell? Well,
I don't even know what that is.
Author Matt Walsh wrote a book called Johnny the Walrus, where it's about a kid who one day wakes up and he thinks that he's a walrus. So then his mother starts to take him seriously, starts to like bathe him like a walrus, puts him on teeth, gives him fish to eat, treats him exactly like a walrus, takes him to the doctor, and then they want to do surgery on him and like cut his arms off to make him more like a walrus. So the book's like an allegory.
Morbid. That's pretty crazy.
It's a children's book.
And wait, this is a child?
Yeah, it's a children's book. It's a children's book.
But the character is a child.
Yes, the character is a child. Okay. Some would say it's an allegory to the transgender movement.
Like, yes, I got that automatically, but damn, I didn't know it was I thought it was like an animal trying to be another animal.
But the interesting thing is that it actually hit somebody messed up on Amazon or whatever, I don't know. Somebody on it actually hit number 1 on the Amazon's LGBT list. Number 1. Some would say anti-trans. I don't say it's anti-transgender, but some would say it was. People called like people. Well, the book got banned in Target too. Like they sold it at Target and then they pulled it off the shelves. They banned it in other places, but Amazon, since it's too big and is making a lot of money, they're not going to pull it off right now. So, but it stayed on there for several weeks. It was number 1, and the author Matt Walsh was like gloating and boasting about it. He's like, I'm the number 1 LGBTQ author in the world, and all this stuff. Like he was basking in his glory. He's like, if you attack me, then you're attacking a beloved LGBT author. So he like used it like very trolly. He trolled them good. This is, to me, the reason why I made the list is because to me this is the biggest troll of all time. Like, to get number 1. I mean, it beat the likes of Holiday, stories like that. The seven husbands of whatever her name. These are real books. These are real books. They're really one bed, 2 people, 1 bed, or not enough bed. Like, these are actually real. There's like, you should look at the list. There's some weird ones. I'm like, what the hell? The 7 husbands of so and so and Holiday and. There's some weird, like, no,
really?
You think
Holiday?
I'm making? Yeah, I swear. Look at the list. There's a weirder one called like, what is it? Like a weird, like a name that's like, when you hear it, you're like, what the hell? You would think it's like a parody. Like, you would actually think it's a parody, but anyway, but it hit number 1. So I thought that was a big story. So that's number 9. So number 8. DC fandom. Number 8 is DC fandom. To me, like, we saw this, like, all the stuff that came out, the Aquaman. What can you tell us about that, and why does that make our list of number 8 on the stories or moments of 2021? Talk about DC fandom.
We're getting another Batman trailer that we've been, like, fiending for quite some time, and then we finally get a little teaser, whatever you want to say, of the Flash, and then of course we get finally the Black Adam, with Dwayne Johnson, which I thought was probably never going to happen. I mean, I remember them talking about it like years, dude, like years and years ago. So I mean, all these movies were being talked about years and years ago, and it's just crazy that we finally came this far, and we're seeing the trailer, and of course it was big for DC fans as well, because I mean, we're already on on 2022, you know what I mean? So this year is going to be full on with those DC movies and stuff like that. So I mean, who wouldn't be like excited for any of that stuff to happen? I mean, it was good. It was a good year for that.
I can't wait to the new year, but all started at DC Fandom, or not all started, but like we actually got our first look. So that's the one that's gonna kind of stick out to me in the year. So number 7, stories or moments of 2021, is the school bathroom sexual assault or rape that happened in Loudoun County. And I think this was a huge...
I don't want to remember that, but okay.
Yeah. Well, this is a huge story, and the reason why this is a big story is because, like, people, they try to cover this up. Like, the school board in Loudoun County tried to cover up the whole thing. The parents, I think one of the parents got arrested at the school board meeting because they were like, yeah, my daughter was just... raped by a boy in a skirt, and this is when they're trying to pass like the transgender bathroom laws. And so one of the school attendants was like, oh, that never happened. And the dad like flipped out. He's like, he got arrested, and people were like, oh, he's the bad guy. Look at this terrorist. It's a terrorist. The poor teachers. So like they made a big deal about this guy. And so when they actually did some real investigation, like real journalism, then they found out why, that it was actually true, and that the police did file reports, and he was arrested and everything. So a boy, he had a skirt on or whatever, and he met, I guess they knew each other before or whatever. And so they tried to have sex, and, she said no or whatever. And, he raped her. So this was right in the middle of the whole debate on Loudoun County about like trying to do the bathrooms where boys and girls could go. So they used this as like, wait a minute, why are we doing it? Like, look what just happened. And so like the school tried to cover it up. There was people resigned. Some people got in trouble. Not as much as I think, but this was a big story, Loudoun County.
I think there was quite a bit of random stories like that. I don't think it went that far. From now that I remember, but that's crazy. That's insane. I mean, I don't understand. I just don't understand people or the kids these days. Just because, I mean, you really went that far, like just to get you some. Like, see, I mean, if we allow those type of things to happen, those are one of the things that are going to happen or could happen. So, I mean. Yeah, that's I don't recall that story exactly, but that's a messed up one at that. So I thought about it in certain like things like that because I'm working and stuff like that, so I'm not going to tell anybody where I work at. But one of our customers, I noticed that they had a restroom of like like anybody can use it, boy or girl or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have it doesn't say like non-gender. I'm just saying like, why don't they just use that? It just has one toilet. You know what I mean? So it's like, why doesn't, there's men and then there's women, and then why don't they just do that? Yeah,
I don't know. But I don't know. I think that's just crazy, but that's number 7. Real quick, though, going back on that Amazon's list, these are some real books. It sounds like a parody, but it's not. Here's one of the top selling LGBTQ books on Amazon. His Boy to Ride. I'm not like let me. His Boy to Ride, and it shows a picture of a dude in a cowboy hat. And again, they're book covers, so I'm not looking at anything weird. They're book covers. It's on Amazon, so there's nothing weird. Here's another one. Filthy Bromance. That sounds nice. Filthy Bromance. Like, what the hell? Like, Filthy Bromance?
That sounds like a porn.
There's another one called Only One Bed, and it shows a picture of 2 people in a bed, like 2 boys, and one bed, only one bed. And there was one called Holiday, too. And then there was another one too. I can't find it. I got to go down the list. But there was one about like something weird, like Santa. I saw it like this was last month, but it was like Santa Claus or like something weird about Christmas, like filthy bromance. There you go, filthy bromance, and His Boy to Ride. What the like? That's what the title was called. His Boy to Ride. Isn't that like illegal or like I don't know. And then the 7 husbands of Evelyn Hugo. Seven husbands. Seven. Okay, these are weird anyway. But Johnny the Walrus was number 1 for a few weeks. So all right,
that girl's gonna have her hands full. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. Well, I know 7 husbands. Okay, so Let's go to number 6. The number 6 on the list of the top 10 stories or moments of 2021 is Jacob Blake getting no charges several months ago. You know, Jacob Blake, he's the one that got shot and he was like paralyzed or something like that by the police officers in the car. But they decided not to file any charges on him a few months ago. That's number 6 because that, you know, it ties into all the other shootings that happened and stuff like that. To me, this was one of the most ridiculous ones because he even admitted himself. Like, it's not a, like, oh, we don't know what happened. No. Like, he, from the horse's mouth, as you will, he said it himself that he had a knife. He was armed. He admitted he had a knife. The police officers gave him, like, a bunch of chances to give himself up. He had an arrest warrant. I don't know if you know this. If anyone's a cop or anyone's been a police officer, when somebody has an arrest warrant and it pops up, you got to treat that situation as a extremely heightened situation. When you see that somebody you're about to arrest or encounter has an arrest warrant, so he knew, and obviously if you're the person, you know you got an arrest warrant. You know of course you know you got an arrest warrant. He sexually assaulted the woman. He broke into a woman's home, sexually assaulted her, came back and tried to get her car. This is the Jacob Blake, and then he grabbed the knife and then they shot him like 9 times or something. They 50 cent him. He just got 50 cent. I think he got shot like 9 times or something like that. Or maybe it was less. I don't remember exactly.
Well, no, he's only 50 if he lived through it.
No, but he did live through it.
Not exactly. I mean,
well, he did. He's alive. What are you talking about, Jacob Blake? He's alive.
Yeah, but he's paralyzed, right, from the waist down.
Well, yeah. Well, now he can't harm the community's safer now because the world is a safer place because he was a criminal. He had a big record. He had a big break into a woman, sexually assault her. He had multiple violent charges against him. And I will say this is a common theme. Like, what was the recent one that happened where the police officer, she accidentally, she tried to take out her taser, but then she accidentally took out her gun and she shot him. Aubrey something, John, or I can't remember. The recent one, it's the one recent, where they videotaped it and stuff like that. It was like a car or something like that. But she accidentally...
Honestly, man, I've seen quite a bit and I'm just
well,
I feel like these days, we're just like...
He also...
we're used to it.
Yeah. I just want to say this, though. They were doing a press conference and they were like, oh, the society, oh, this poor boy, what he could have been. He could have been a doctor. He had a lot of promise. And then you look at his record. Again, I'm not saying it's justified, but his record was he shot somebody in the head. He shot another kid in the head. He carjacked a bunch. He had literally more than 5 violent criminally charges against him. And he was 21. He was 20 or 21. He literally paralyzed somebody, shot him in the head, carjacked, sexual assault. He had a long rap. They're like, he could have been something great. Something, the world will miss him. It's no, I'm not saying, obviously I don't want nobody to die, but I just thought that's so weird. It's what? What are they talking about? There's this innocent young boy. He's 21 years old. This child that literally shot somebody in the head, sexually assault, carjacked, criminal, lifelong criminal. He was only 20, and he had a longer rap sheet than Snoop Dogg or Tupac. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going off on it. Anyway, yeah, I thought that was a big story because Jacob Blake, just how did he not get charged? Yeah, he got paralyzed, but how do you go around just being a criminal and then not expect bad things to happen to you? So that's number 6. Number 5. Let's go to number 5. Number 5 is going to be the Colorado shooting with a 21-year-old Ahmad Alzira. The March 22nd, the mass shooting at the supermarket in Boulder, Colorado. The reason this one's on the list is because, whenever mass shootings happen, they're like, oh, you'll notice something. Whenever it's a white person, right away they'll tell you everything about them. They'll tell you what was their grade in their 8th grade math score.
They got mental health issues.
Yeah, they'll tell you but they'll say everything about him, what color he is. But if you notice, if there's a mass shooting and it's not a white person, they don't tell you. It has been multiple. There's been multiple. Like whenever it's not like,
Whenever
I don't hear the race, yeah, it shouldn't be important at all.
I don't even think they should say the race at all.
I'm with you. But they do when it's the other side. Whenever I've noticed that, because remember the Christmas parade one, they're like, oh, the suspect, so and so, and they never say. They don't say, but then whenever it's a white person, like, oh, this a white male did. It's like, okay, so he was a.
Well, at least they're catching on. I mean,
Middle Eastern, yeah. This guy was a Middle Eastern. I can't remember exactly where he was from. Not Saudi Arabia, but he somewhere in the Middle East. But he was 21-year-old Ahmad al-Siri or whatever. He killed a bunch of people. So I just thought that was a story because it ties into the other. I just thought it's curious how when it's certain people, they want you to know right away who it is and what about them. But when it's other people, they're like, shh, let's not talk about that. It doesn't matter. Like, I don't know. I just find it weird. So what do you think about that?
I just think I don't even know why. Like for instance, like, oh my God, like for instance, if I'm talking to you or something like that, just a normal conversation, we would never even mention race or something like that, or to be like, hey, did you hear about that one guy that shot up that policeman? That was crazy, right? Like that's the first thing I would say. Yeah. Like I wouldn't even talk about like the color or something like that. I think we're slowly getting into that. That way of like of not to mention colors or whatever, but I mean, who knows? I mean, that's how you get the ratings or whatever, so to speak.
Yep. All right. And number four, story or moment of 2021, and number 4 is going to be the Little Nas X, the Satan video. A nice, good old, healthy, good old, nice, heartwarming.
I never seen that video until probably
heartwarming.
I saw it like maybe, give or take, man, maybe 4 or 5 months ago, and it was just playing, and I was just like, whoa, what the hell? This is the song that everyone's like talking about, and I'm like, this is wild. This is like crazy. And I'm just like, I don't understand. I mean, I still don't. But I mean, I get it. I mean, I'm already past all that Little Nas X stuff or whatever. But at the same time, it's just like, I still don't know why it's got to be just shown for the kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, for whatever. Okay.
Yeah. No, but that's, no, I just thought that was a big story because everybody was talking about it and stuff like that. And it is weird. It's weird. It's just like, I don't know. There's no words. Like when you just have to watch it for yourself.
I don't want to watch it.
I don't really have any. Yeah, it's just crazy. That's all I would have to say. You just pretty much have to watch it for yourself. All right, let's move. I want to move away from that one. That was weird.
I mean, I'm not saying I don't want to say the devil and like do nasty, weird things. Like that's still the same thing. It has nothing to do with gender exactly. Like that's not my cup of tea of things. I'm just like maybe I shouldn't.
Yeah.
All right, so, turn this off before someone walks in.
Yeah, that's like, it's just a weird video.
You're like and then your batteries are out or something. They don't work. Someone just walks in. Your wife or your mom. It's
a weird video. Weird. All right, so number three. I thought the one of the stories was like an old Dominion professor. He tried to defend normalizing MAPS. And what MAPS is, it means minorly attractive persons or people. So it's weird. It's this guy. Oh man, it's just so weird. It's quote unquote doctor, professor Alan Walker. He was trying to say that it's like okay to have like to how do you say it? Okay, how do you say it? That we shouldn't stigmatize minor attracted persons. That's what it means, MAP. It's people who are attracted to minors, but they haven't actually committed a crime. Like they haven't acted it out. They haven't acted it out, but they're attracted.
Just thinking of it.
Yeah,
or planning it.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. That's because then why would you? I guess they have no shame in it. They're just like,
that's like,
oh yeah,
what
I
about
like that. I'm
just not writing on your diary or something like that.
Yeah, I guess it's something like that. Yeah, so minorly attractive persons. There's actually people defending people like that and saying that we shouldn't stigmatize it. That we shouldn't attach morality to what people are attracted to, as long as they haven't acted on it. So they can like talk about it. They could even create groups of people that like they like minorly attractive, like pretty much like pedophile, but they don't
Okay,
like
yeah,
that
that's right.
word pedophiles because they say that it
Yeah.
like stigmatizes them and stuff like that. That we shouldn't attach morality to what people are attracted to. What say you?
What say you? Well, I know there's things that I've I've seen like documentaries and stuff like that, and the first thing that they say, they once they catch like a pedophile or a predator or whatever, and they have like actually like photos of children or something like that, like they all end up saying that they would never do it in real life. I don't think that's okay, because I think it would kind of like influence it. When you think like, what if I'm just like,
Yeah, I just think
what if I'm talking to you and I'm just like, man, Roger, man, I feel like doing some meth right now, man. But what do you think? You're like, no, no, that's and then, but if we were to both agree and we keep talking about it, I think eventually we would do it. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Like that. I don't think that
yeah. Well,
that's
I
like
just think
influencing yourself or
yeah,
something.
it's becoming more prevalent. Like there's more of this movement. You think I'm playing? Like there's another
No, no,
organization.
no. I believe you because
Yeah,
we
there's
opened a gate a long time ago.
yeah. Well, that's the thing. It's
Yeah.
when you take like teleology, like which is a study of like what a thing is made for or what's the end of something. When you take that right and you take like what is a man, right? Like how does a best man fulfill his nature of being a man? How does a woman do it? What is a sexual act? Again, like I said, sexual reproductive organs, they're like complementary to each other. They only make sense with another counterpart. Like the
Yeah.
male sexual organ makes no sense without the women's sexual organ and vice versa. So once you take that stuff and once you start to do when you tweak things that aren't what they're meant to be used for, like then it's anything goes. Once you take words and like ruin and change the meaning of words, like it just becomes like nonsense words. Like have you ever heard the saying like, oh, love is love or whatever? It's like, what does that mean? Like what does that even, like I noticed something whenever it comes to like people wanting to make choices in their life or whatever, people are like, no, you have to do this, or no, you have to do it like this, or you better get vaccinated, or you better get this, or you better not go here, you better wear a mask, all this different stuff. But then when it comes to anything sexual, we're like, whoa, no, you got to let them do whatever they want. That's like a free license, like pretty much. And again, so far, thank goodness, like it's still illegal. But eventually we see that breaking down. Like this is not the first time. There was a TED Talk a few years ago about it. This time it was a woman talking about how like we should show sympathy for pedophiles and don't stigmatize them and don't think they're weird.
Well,
Like
actually,
this was several years
there's
ago.
there's a different way from that, because because I've actually heard stuff like that too, like to where, I do believe that they're sick, like actually like sick, not like sick in the head, like, oh my God, like how could you do this? Like, like you're not all there or something like that.
I would say that is
But you're not going to have your
100%.
children hang out with him.
Yeah, I would say it's 100% wrong. And one of the reasons why I think it is because we forgot that we are like broken people and that like we're fallen people. And people think that if you feel something, therefore it's okay to give into it. Or if you feel something, just do it. Like Nike, just do it.
I mean, this is all slowly starting from all like the LGBTQ. So I want to do the
Yeah,
same
see,
thing.
that's what I'm
You know
saying.
what I
Is
mean?
like I think we
Like,
forget in this world, we forget that all of us have disordered desires. Every last one of us have disordered desires, feelings, thoughts. But back then, a long time ago, we understood this. We understood this for thousands of years. We're like, oh yeah, we have concupiscence. We tend to, we're not totally like depraved and totally like just so horrible and evil, but the human, we tend to lean towards the bad. And so that means we all, that's why I don't believe, like, again, racism is wrong. Racism, we need to like do our best to stop that. But that's why I don't get when people say we need to get rid of race. You're never going to get rid of racism, because even though racism is wrong, even it is wrong, but it's only one, it's part of a human's nature to tend towards the bad.
it's not on purpose. It's like, it's culture. And like, I mean, I like all types of like races of women, and I don't have anything against like men or something like that in difference of races, but not everyone's gonna think like me. Not everyone's gonna think like you or something like that. Um, and yeah, it's never gonna go away
Yeah,
because it's just it's just ignorant people, old school people that are just like still trying to keep it going from generation to generation to
but see,
generation.
no, see, I would disagree. I would say it's not just that. It's even in 100 years we're gonna have that because again we're fallen. All of us, every single one of us human beings, all of us, we have some type of
So you think it's just
disorder.
it's just instincts.
Some no, some people might not have that, but if they don't have that, they have something else. Like somebody, every person, we forget that just because you feel something or you think something, you have to do it. No, no, no. You're supposed to fight against those urges. You're supposed to fight against those desires. Some people think that, well, if you're born or if you're naturally racist or if you're naturally like minor kids or if you're naturally attracted to the young or if you're naturally an asshole or you're naturally a psychopath, like if you're naturally a dick, all this stuff, well, that's who you are, and that's you should be who you are, and just give in. No, you have to actively. I don't care how if you're born like that. Somebody like, well, I was born like this. Again, we're all. That's what I get back to. We're all born with these inclinations that are disordered. That doesn't give anyone an excuse to do it. That's what I'm saying. It's like.
Yeah.
That's why racism is never going to end. Not because of people. It's because
So
in 100,000 years or in 1,000 years, every human being that's born, because we're like, oh, we got rid of all the old people. Good. Guess what? That little child that's born 100 years later, guess what? They're a human being. Therefore, that means they're fallen. That means they have things in them that they must fight against, thoughts and feelings. So that's what I'm saying. You're never going to get rid of like things like that. That's what I'm saying. Does
yeah,
that make sense?
and going back to
Yeah.
the pedophiles,
If they
like
are like that,
I
they
think if
shouldn't
you
give into it.
I think yeah, if you don't give into it,
And shouldn't be prideful of it either.
you should. I think you're sick and you should get help if you haven't committed anything.
You
You know what I'm
definitely
saying?
shouldn't talk about it like, oh, this
Yeah,
is
yeah. I
okay.
don't think
I'm
yeah,
attracted to it. No, no, no.
because that's not okay.
You have to fight against it.
You're normalizing it.
Yeah, that's what.
That's
Yeah,
what I think.
that's what I'm saying.
You're
Yes,
normalizing by like talking and having groups or something like that.
yes, that's what
You know
it
what I mean?
is. That's what the
If
word.
I
That normal. They shouldn't do that.
everybody that I know and hang out with or something like that, my type of circle or something like that, is not going to fuck with that type of circle. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, don't normal. Even if you feel that, even if you have
yeah,
those desires, don't normalize it. And I feel nowadays, if it has to do with sex, anything goes. That's the problem I have is normalize. We all have bad desires, emotions, thoughts. That we're all human. I'm not condemning anybody. I'm saying let's not normal. First of all, you don't act on it. Don't act on it. Obviously. Second, don't normalize it. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's go to that. Man, that was a longer one. So let's try to get through these quick. There's only two more. And number two, that was a long number three. Number two story is the transgender males dominating in women's sports. As I say, let's not go long. And here's a long one.
so we're still in the same.
That's number two.
Boat.
That's number two is because they've been dominant. The Olympics at the Olympics in Beijing, they had the male transgender weightlifter, and then they had the runners. The swimmers.
But if I was a woman, period, and I watched the Olympics, or if I was athletic, or if I was like in the Olympics and I was a woman, woman, female, I'm an actual female born, I would be very offended, and I would be very like frustrated, or how about the women that already broke those records and a man broke them? But it's definitely not a win. I'm very competitive and all this on all types of stuff, and it's definitely doesn't feel like a win to me. And even if I was in that person's shoes, it wouldn't feel like a win. You're gonna tell me, if I'm going to transform into a woman, and let's just say I'm a fighter, and then I go on a 20 win streak or 10 win streak, whatever, okay, and I literally do not think that I wouldn't feel any type of satisfaction.
To me, this senses of like two things that are kind of related is one is like Manichaeism, which is like a heresy, which is pretty much like believes like body bad, soul good, kind of like it's almost like, I guess if we're trapped in, you ever seen those old cartoons, or not old cartoons, but like a lot of people believe this. They don't even realize it. They believe that like bodies, we're just a body, and the real us is the soul. We're like inside trapped. You know what I mean? Like we're like ghost in the machine, kind of. We're like nothing. So the real you is the inside, the soul, if you will, inside. And the body is just an outside shell, like a ghost in the shell. So whatever, we can tweak and twist the body. We can make the body do whatever we want, because that's not really us, quote unquote. That's like a Manichaeism kind of thing. Like spirit, that's the real me. The body's, no. But we don't believe that. That's a heresy. That's a heresy. We are our body. Our bodies and us are one. We're a body soul composite. Like that means we're together. Like our body and soul, we're together. It's not like here's my body and then my soul separate. No, that's a heresy. That's not what we believe. Another one too is like nominalism. Nominalism, it's kind of like the idea that like there's no such thing as natures. Like we just make up the words, but there's no like universals like treeness or humanness or stuff like that. Like there's no such thing as like things aren't really. There's no such thing as a category of things. We just give names to them. So that means if you believe nominalism, that means you can get rid of the word man, because man means nothing. That's what non-binary is like. Oh, it's whatever. Woman, you can get rid of that because that means nothing. There's no such thing as natures. No. But there are natures. You first of all, you could see that in our bodies. You could see in our bodies. It's not just something made up. There really is a thing called manness. There really is a thing called womanness. Human being treeness, redness, triangleness. That's a thing. It's not like you can't say, "Oh, this is a triangle with 4 sides." Like what? No, a triangle. Its nature is that it has 3 sides. And a triangle, you can't. I don't care if they're small, big, or little, as long as I have 3 sides and it's like.
I feel like this should have probably been another subject.
Yeah, probably. Well, anyway, but to me, that's how I feel like this whole. If you believe in those 2 things, therefore the real you is somewhere deep inside, somewhere.
It's real simple. If you're into sports or something like that, you should know already that that's not there. So that's all I got to say.
All right, so let's go to our number 1. Fine, man, the last 3 ones are taking forever to get through. Okay, on number 1. This is going to be a quick one. The number 1 story, our AR-15 Nation's number 1 story of 2021 is the January 6 riots that happened, the so-called insurrection, as I say. And yeah, I did say so-called. So what do you think about that? We're 2 days away. We're recording this on January 4th. So we're 2 days. I thought it was fitting because that has been talked about every time something bad happens.
Yeah.
Like, okay, when the Texas weather gets cold, it's because of the insurrection. When I stub my toe inside the house, it's, damn it, the insurrection. I yell at the gods. I shake my fist in the sky and I'm like, damn the insurrection. It's all the insurrection. When somebody gets COVID, it's the insurrection's fault. Like I feel this whole 2021 year was summarized by the January 6th insurrection, which I guarantee you there's going to be like a document, a memorial. They're going to have in memoriam. They're going to have like a whole, like a moment of watch. I guarantee you, like Biden's going to come out and like, let's have a moment of silence for January 6th. Like we're going to hold the flags are going to be half staffed. Like, am I wrong or right? Like I guarantee you they're going to do something. What do you think about that whole?
I really think a lot of people were just very stressed out on the weather and the COVID. Yeah. So they had to get out and start doing stuff.
I will say this. Look, I don't believe that it's an insurrection.
Safe to say, were those times the reason why it happened? Was it because of George Floyd, or was it just because of a bunch of other stuff?
It was a mixture. Well, of course, like the election and all that stuff like that. But a lot of those people went to prison for like a long time. Did any of the rioters for the last year that were like literally burning down police stations?
It took a while for it to slow down, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, for a whole year.
Yeah,
for a whole. But okay, this is what I'm saying. Look, first, what they did, they were stupid. they're stupid. They're idiots for doing that stuff, storming the Capitol. But this is what I'm saying is when people make it a bigger deal, like, oh, they're trying to take over the government. They're trying to a coup d'etat. I was like, really? I was like, last time I checked, because again, you look in Africa, look in the Middle East, look in Latin America. When there's a real coup, that's a real takeover. Now it's violent. And they're armed to the T with machine guns, and they roll in with tanks. They don't go in coon hats, shirtless. Okay, that's not a militia takeover. A guy shirtless with a coon hat. Never trust an insurrectioner with a coon hat. That's all I got. Never trust a doctor never go to a physical exam, and when you go get your physical exam, and the doctor walks in and he walks in with the coon hat. Never trust that guy. You don't trust that. Matter of fact, when you're at the doctor, like getting tested for COVID or whatever, and the doctor walks in and he has googly eyes, you better walk out the door. Don't trust a doctor that wears a. You know what? Okay, one more. I got one more. Okay, so never trust a doctor that when he walks in and he starts talking about, yeah, well, doctor, I'm feeling my back's kind of hurting. All of a sudden, in the middle of it, he just busts out his ab roller and starts doing like his ab roller in front of you on the floor. And he's like, remember the ab roller from the early 2000s? He just starts I'm picturing in my head. He has his long white coat, his doctor coat, and he's like doing the ab roller right in front of you. Okay, I don't know where this analogy is going, but yeah. Anyway, coon hats. The whole thing was coon hats. Okay, you're telling me a guy who's gonna literally take over the government, the leader is shirtless with a coon hat. That's what I'm saying. Again, was it stupid? Yes. Was it a riot? Yes. Was it horrible? Yes. Everything? Yes. But don't say, oh my, they're trying to take over the government. Really? They had no plan. Nobody was like, okay, guys, we're going to do this and we're going to ask for a ransom to take over. No. They literally stole stuff. They stole pencils. They stole desks. They took selfies in front of nobody killed anybody. Except the Capitol Police, they're the only ones that killed someone. They shot the 110-pound woman, young woman. They shot her, 110-pound woman, unarmed. She died. But the rioters didn't kill AOC. She was so scared. She wasn't even in the Capitol building. She wasn't even there. She was like, oh, I was scared.
Well, someone said that she was?
No, she said she was. And then she backtracked. She's like, well, I was in the city. And then she's like, oh, I was in the city, so I was, by proxy, I was there. Because she was in the city.
AOC wouldn't
Alexandria Cortez. Anyway.
She wouldn't do that. She's a saint.
That's why I think, again, it's stupid, horrible. They should go to jail. I don't think they should go to prison for years. But they weren't trying to taking over the government. They took selfies. You go look in Latin America, look in Africa. When they take over the government, they go with machine guns. They go killing people. This was not. They're blowing it again. Was it horrible? Yes, it looks bad. Yes, but do you agree with me or no? Do you think it is it really was a takeover? Was it how do you see that?
I just thought it was just another riot, man. I mean, it was not a takeover. I was shocked that how they just went inside there. They
let them in. Easy. So you're telling me, it's a takeover. They're trying to take over the government.
Well, I mean, whether they let them in or not, it was still illegal to do all that.
Yeah, no. Yeah, it was still bad. Still, yeah. I'm just saying. I think people blew it away. Again, watch on January 6th. It's going to be like a holy day of obligation. You're going to have to go. It's going to be a solemnity. You're going to have to go over there. You're going to have to, all this stuff. They're going to flags half staffed. I think it's even a bank holiday now. Schools are going to be off to commemorate the sad day of the insurrection. The whole country is going to just stop what they're doing on January 6th and just have a solemn, sad day. Horrible. You know what? It's actually going to surpass Good Friday now. Yeah. That's how sad and horrible. It's going to pass up. They're like, oh, Good Friday. Christ his crucifixion. Who cares? January 6th is the real tragedy. That's the real crucifixion. January 6th, when AOC almost got killed. That's gonna be the new sad. That's gonna be the new Good Friday. Watch, you mark my word. I can't wait for January 6th. It's gonna be. I cannot wait. I'm gonna watch MSNBC. I'm gonna flip it on. I'm gonna watch The View. I'm gonna see. Of course, you could never. I could never count on Whoopi and Joy Behar disappointing me with their horrific views on The View. I can't wait to see that day. Okay, all right. Well, that was number one story. 'Cause I feel like myself going on a rant. Now I'm just ranting by myself. Okay, so that's the end. Yeah. So, and I'm not gonna go back and forth because I lost track. So I want.
Good to be back, and looking forward to this new year.
I'm Roger.
I'm Aaron.
Peace.